Etude number 1, 4x4. Okay, so this etude, I think I'd like you to focus on the rotation, the pronation, supination of the left hand, and just relaxing the hand and let it plop very naturally. So this etude really facilitates this motion. So that's the focus. And the hard spots, we always start with the hard spots. I'd say measure 32. This one, we cannot bridge our fingers. So we're going to use independent fingers, which is the exception, not the rule. So instead of bridging the fingers here for the 3-4, we're going to keep our fingers curved. And you'll see, when I play the fourth finger, the third finger has to get over for the next string. And that happens pretty naturally as long as you're thinking, don't bridge my fingers. So it goes. You can practice it backwards. Like that. Getting into it, the measure before, again, you have to keep your fingers curved so that they react quickly, and that's that. The next hard spot is measure 34. This is where we will bridge our fingers. 1, 1, 1, 1, all the way across. There's not enough time to shuffle our fingers, though you can a little bit, actually. But we will bridge, for the most part, trying to use the weight of our arm, not squeezing with our thumb as much as possible. But this one, you can practice just slowly first. Like that. I did notice I did shuffle the weight of my hand a little bit, and that's a good thing. So focus on what string you need to put weight on and release a little bit of the weight on the other strings. So. So you saw I did a little bit more of the shuffling because we were going so slow. I had more time to do that, and that's okay. Do that, and as you speed it up, it will naturally shift the weight less. So then you can do rhythms. Like that. Do that for a while. And then I like the challenge of doing it backwards, and we're only going to use our fingers and wrist. So we start on the top string. Okay, doesn't sound the greatest, but make it as good as it can sound. It helps if you're a little closer to the bridge at the frog when you do that exercise. But that gets our fingers and wrist informed as to how they can move to help facilitate this bowing. And the last is to think about the up and down of the elbow leading. So now a little faster with the elbow leading. I exaggerate it a little bit, but again, you want to exaggerate things when you do it slower, and it will refine as you get faster. So those are the hard spots. So then the next thing is to play it at half speed, slower, and gradually speed it up. So if it were 160 was the goal, 80 is this tempo. So you can do it with the metronome, or you can play along with me. I'm going to turn it off and just keep that in my mind. 1, 2, good. So he does have a retard there when we do it faster at measure 36, and that will facilitate switching to the 16th notes at measure 38. So a quick story. I am so glad that Aaron Minsky has come up with these 4-dimension etudes. And it reminds me of when I first started the cello and learned the C major scale. But what I thought the C major scale was different than what my teacher thought. I went home, she had taught me 2 octaves. And I said, oh, that's logical. It's the same finger on each string. So I ended up playing this, practicing it the whole week, and presented it to her as such. And she looked at me, that's not right. And then she proceeded to try to explain to me the logic, the musical logic of the scale. And I was quite overwhelmed being a beginner. In my mind, it made much more sense just to have the same fingering across the string. So I was thinking technically on the cello, fingering, not musically for the scale. So this is fun. This is an exploration, going ahead and letting go of that melodic, musical logic, and just going with finger logic, just practicing the same fingering across the same string, and comes up with a new harmony that only makes sense on the cello. So hope you enjoy practicing these etudes.